This week, Colorado travels out to Tempe, to Sun Devil Stadium, where Colorado has yet to win a game. They haven't won a game against this Arizona State team yet. Ryan, it seems like Colorado fans have more animosity towards Arizona State than any of the Pac-12 rivals that they've kind of adopted since joining the conference. Why do you think that is?
I think there's kind of a few things that have built up to it. Last year, you've kind of got some rumors about Todd Graham possibly stealing signs or sending spies to practice, which led to practice being closed for us media. You have Josh Scott getting knocked out on the court from Jordan Baczynski. That sort of leads into it. Then I think sometimes CU fans get a little bothered that ASU's academic standards are a little bit easier. They can get a few more recruits in that maybe the Buffs wanted and weren't able to get in. I think it's just kind of a build-up to that makes CU fans have a little more animosity towards the Sun Devils.
With this 2015 Sun Devils football program, I watched their first 4 games. It was really unimpressed, and I'm starting to write this off as a team that's overrated and really can't compete in the Pac-12 South. And then last Saturday, they surprised everybody, beat UCLA on the road by 15 points. And so after that, I'm kind of sitting here going, I really don't know what to think of Arizona State.
Yeah, I feel like we've been saying that heading into every single game this season. We didn't really know which Oregon they were going to get. We don't know which Arizona State they're going to get. And I tried to ask a couple players and coaches yesterday if there's a big difference between going into a game like Oregon, where they're coming off a big loss, and going to a game like Arizona State, where they're coming off a big win. They didn't really say much, but I think looking at both sides, you would prefer going up against Oregon, who has a little bit of doubt in their minds. Arizona State is the opposite right now, where they finally feel like they got right. They figured it out against a better team than Colorado, so now they think they can go out there and kind of stick it to the Buffs. If they do come out with the type of team that they put up against UCLA, it could be a not pretty affair out there.
One thing that's helped Arizona State and helped them last Saturday is the fact that they're healthier now than they were at the beginning of the season. Kalen Ballage, one of the guys that's back in the mix. Mike Bercovici is their starting quarterback. He ranks 4th in the conference in total offense and passing yards, but 11th in passing efficiency. So he's kind of the gunslinger type that can make mistakes at times, or he can look like an absolute world beater out there.
Yeah, and that's I guess one of the scary things for CU. They have to be able to turn him over, or else it could be ugly. He's going to make some ill-advised decisions, and if you don't make him pay for it, he's just going to keep going out there and doing it until he finally beats you deep, or is just kind of taking you apart out there. So the Buffs have to figure out a way to create interceptions and turnovers there. They rank 14th in the country in interceptions right now, with 8 on the season. It's really encouraging. It's one of the things that they've talked about, and it's one of the reasons that their defense is improved this year. So if you had to guess, you think the Buffs will be able to get a turnover or 2 in this game, the way that Bercovici kind of goes out there. But if they're unable to turn him over, Bercovici could have a field day.
Demario Richard, Arizona State's starting running back, is averaging more than 100 yards per game this season. DJ Foster, a really versatile, explosive player. Tim White, a really good kick returner. So quite a few skill guys that are very talented on the Sun Devils team. On the other side of the ball, Todd Graham's defenses are known to be ultra aggressive. They blitz like a crazy amount of the time. Apparently they didn't blitz a ton against UCLA, which kind of surprised me because they were going against a freshman quarterback in Josh Rosen, and Josh Rosen made mistakes in that game. I would very much anticipate, with kind of the Colorado offensive line struggles in terms of their injuries situation and at times struggling in pass protection, that we'll see Arizona State really go back to that aggressive approach this week. I'm going to put my spotlight on the offensive line. A guy like John Lasella expected to start at right tackle. Stefan Nembot moving over to left tackle. The onus is on those guys to have a good game, because we've seen when Cepho is rushed, I mean, even when he's given time, sometimes he makes missed throws. So if you rush him, you're going to be in a world of trouble offensively if you're Colorado.
Yeah, they're going to be sending bullets. It's what they do, and Colorado hasn't shown any proficiency in running the plays that you have to run to get out of there. They haven't been running successful draws. They haven't been running successful screens. So there's nothing that Colorado has put on tape that shows Arizona State to not blitz. The Buffs are going to have to connect on some screens. They're going to have to, dial up the right plays at the right time, and that's a big challenge for Brian Lindgren, because it seems every time he's called a screen thus far this year, it's been at the wrong time, and the defense had it sniffed out. So if they can get a couple of those plays early, they can take some of the pressure off the offensive line, take some of the pressure off Cepho Lufau, and if not, then Sefo is going to have a long day back there, and you might have to end up seeing a backup out there with the way that he's already banged up.
Who are you putting your spotlight on?
I'm going to put my spotlight on Ryan Severson, kind of another guy in there who's getting his first start. And I've always been pretty high on Ryan Severson as a football player. He's got good instincts. He's got good speed. The knock on him is he's playing inside linebacker at 205 pounds. We saw how that worked out for Addison Gillum last year, and he, is a better football player than Ryan Severson. So he's gonna have to play one of his best games. He's gonna have to use that physicality that he does have for a guy that's that small. But man, running back like Kalen Ballage can have a field day going up against a couple undersized linebackers.
The one difference I will point out between Gillum at 205 and Severson at 205 is that he's a lot shorter, and as he told us, the media this week, that he plays with pretty good leverage. Still, though, to your point, not the ideal size for a starting inside linebacker in the Pac-12.
If UCLA can't get Kalen Ballage down for 30 yards, getting dragged, then Ryan Severson might have some problems.
Yeah. In terms of a prediction, again, I kind of don't know what to expect from this Arizona State team, but until Colorado proves that they can close out one of these Pac-12 games, I've got to continue to go with the opposing team in these predictions, and I'm going to say Colorado keeps it close for a while, but in the end, Arizona State pulls away and wins this football game 38-27. What say you, Ryan?
I've been pretty high on the Buffs this year. I think I've had them cover in every game or close to it, but I simply just can't see it this week. There's too much going up against the Buffs, and I don't do this often, but I'm going to have to pick a blowout this week. I think ASU runs away with it 48-14.
All right. Well, I'm heading down to Tempe, and I'm basically going to be watching the game from space up at their press box. It's so high up. But so all of you are going to have a better view. Ryan, what do you think? Going down to Tempe, the temperature is going to be in the 80s throughout the entire game. It's a little bit of a different animal than what they faced at Hawaii with the humidity. It's got dry heat, as they say in the T-shirts out there in Phoenix. Do you think that's going to be a factor in this game?
I think there's a lot of factors. The Buffs are coming from this cool fall weather going into that. And last week it seemed like everything was going the Buffs' way. This week it seems the opposite. They've got the injuries. They've never been within 14 points of Arizona State in the 6 matchups they've had. It just seems like there's too much on their backs this week for them to overcome. And, maybe it's one of those situations where everyone thinks it's a bad situation for them and all their players play out of their minds and we see a close game. But I think, between the weather, between all the injuries, and just the matchup with Arizona State, and it seems Todd Graham kind of has the Buffs' number, I just think it's too much.
Yeah, the Buffs' Pac-12 conference losing streak was extended to 12 games in that Oregon game. We'll see if they can finally snap that this Saturday at Sun Devil Stadium.